Hello dear students, myself CMA Padmaja Buzruk. I will be discussing auditing. Go to study note number 7, provisions relating to audit under Companies Act. I will be discussing audit committee section 177 and appointment of auditors section 139. Audit committee section 177. Constitution of audit committee is mandatory for every listed company and such directors or classes of companies as may be prescribed. Now, constitution of audit committee is compulsory for every listed company as well as such classes of companies. These classes of companies are, as per Rule 6 of Companies Meeting of Board and its Powers Rules 2014, following class of companies having been prescribed for the purpose: all public companies with paid up share capital of rupees 10 crore or more, all public companies having turnover of 100 crore or more, all public companies having in aggregate outstanding loan, borrowing and debentures or deposits exceeding 50 crores or more. So for all these class of companies as well as every listed companies, constitution of audit committee is compulsory. An audit committee shall have minimum 3 directors. Majority of them should be independent directors. Majority of member of audit committee should be able to read and understand financial statement. Financial statements are profit and loss account and balance sheet. So it is required that majority of members of audit committee should have knowledge and understanding of financial statements. Functions of audit committee: for appointment of auditor and fixation of remuneration of auditor, examination of financial statements, scrutiny of intercorporate loans and investments, valuation of assets of the company, evaluation of internal financial control and risk management system of the entity, evaluation of use of funds rose through public offers. If the funds are raised through shares and debentures, then it is necessary that the audit committee is required to evaluate or analyze the same. Evaluation of related party transactions. Powers of the audit committee: audit committee has the power to call for comment of auditor about internal control system and the scope of audit including its observation. Audit committee has power to ask the auditor, to require the auditor to comment on internal control system. Before submission of report to board, the audit committee have the power to review the financial statement, power to discuss any issue with statutory and internal audit and management of company in relation to matters contained in financial statements. So that is the reason why majority of members of audit committee should have knowledge about financial statements. They should be able to read and understand financial statements. Now we'll see audit under Companies Act. The audit of accounts of companies in India is compulsory as per Companies Act 2013. Section 139 to 148 provide for appointment, removal, qualification, disqualification, remuneration, rights, duties and liabilities of company auditors. Section 139, appointment of auditors. Subsection 1 of section 139, subject to provisions of this chapter, every company shall at the first annual general meeting appoint an individual or a firm as an auditor who shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of its sixth annual general meeting, and thereafter till the conclusion of every sixth meeting, and manner and procedure of selection of auditors by members of the company at such meeting shall be as such prescribed in Rule 3 of Chapter 10 under the Act. So as per subsection 1 of section 139, every company shall appoint the auditor in first annual general meeting, and the auditor shall hold the office till the conclusion of sixth annual general meeting. It is necessary to obtain written consent of the auditor from the auditor, and certificate to be obtained from him, that is, he is qualified to be appointed as auditor and is not disqualified, he should give the certificate and consent in writing. And it is also necessary that he is eligible to be appointed as auditor and he satisfies the criteria of provided in section 141, that is he is not disqualified to be appointed as auditor. Provided also that the company shall inform the auditor concerned of his or its appointment and also file a notice of such appointment with registered within 15 days of the meeting in which auditor is appointed. Company should inform auditor about his appointment as well as file a notice with registered within 15 days, and the notice should be in the form ADT 1. Appointment includes reappointment. Subsection 2 of section 139. No listed company or a company belonging to such class or classes of companies as prescribed in Rule 5 of Chapter 10 under the Act shall appoint or reappoint an individual as auditor for more than one term of 5 consecutive years and an audit firm as auditor for more than 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. So in short, as per subsection 2, listed companies and company belong to such class or classes of companies which is prescribed in Rule 5. Individual auditor is to be appointed for one term of 5 consecutive years and firm of auditors is to be appointed for 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. Now we'll see as per Rule 5 which are the class or classes of companies. Rule 5, class of companies. For the purpose of subsection 2 of section 139, the class of companies shall mean the following class of companies excluding one person company and small companies. All unlisted public companies having paid up share capital of rupees 10 crore or more. All private limited companies having paid up share capital of rupees 50 crore or more. All companies having paid up share capital below the threshold limit in A and B, that is these limits, but having public borrowings from financial institutions, banks and public deposits of 50 crores or more. So these are the classes of companies as well as all listed companies. Subsection 2 is applicable. Provided that an individual auditor who has completed his term under Clause A shall not be eligible for reappointment as an auditor in the same company for 5 years from the completion of his term. So if individual has been appointed as an auditor of a company for a term of 5 consecutive years, then once he completes his term of 5 consecutive years, he cannot be appointed as auditor in the same company for 5 years. An auditor firm which has completed its term under Clause B shall not be eligible for reappointment as auditor in the same company for 5 years from the completion of such term. So if audit firm is appointed and if the firm has completed 2 terms of 5 consecutive years, then the same audit firm cannot be appointed in the same company for 5 years from completion of such term. This 5 years period is known as cooling period. 5 years they cannot be appointed as auditor in the same company. Provided further that as on the date of appointment, no audit firm having a common partner or partners to other audit firm whose tenure has expired in company immediately preceding the financial year shall be appointed as auditor of the same company for a period of 5 years. If a partner is common in 2 or more companies, then all these companies cannot be appointed as auditor of the company if the company has completed the tenure of 2 years. That is the total year 10 years they have served as auditor. Provided also that nothing contained in this subsection shall prejudice the right of company to remove an auditor or the right of auditor to resign from such office of the company. That means it is not compulsory that the auditor is to be appointed for 5 years or firm to be appointed for 10 years. It can be lesser than that also. Company can remove the auditor and auditor himself can resign. Subsection 3 of section 139, subject to the provisions of this act, members of a company may resolve to provide that in an audit firm appointed by it, the auditing partner or his term shall be rotated at such intervals as may be resolved by members, or the audit shall be conducted by more than one auditor. So as per subsection 3, the members may decide about the rotation of auditors. The term of auditors can be lesser than 5 years or 10 years as the case may be, and the company can appoint auditors more than one auditor. It will be as per the wish of the members. They will decide, they will resolve, and audit shall be conducted by more than one auditor. Subsection 4. Central government may by Rule 6 of Chapter 10 prescribe the manner in which companies shall rotate their auditors in pursuance of subsection 2. So as per subsection 4, rotation of auditors is given, which is prescribed in Rule 6 of Chapter 10. So in short, I have given here, the audit committee shall recommend to the board the name of an individual auditor or of an audit firm who may replace the incumbent auditor on expiry of term of such incumbent. Audit committee will recommend the name of the audit firm or individual auditor when the existing auditor's term is coming to an end, it is expiring, then it will recommend the name of new audit firm. But if audit committee is not required to be constituted, then the board shall itself consider the matter of rotation of auditors and make its recommendation for appointment of next auditors by members in annual general meeting. At the time of rotation of auditors, incoming audit firm auditor having common partner with the erstwhile audit firm shall not be eligible for appointment. So if they are having common partners, then that firm also is not eligible for appointment. Subsection 5 of section 139, notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1, in case of government company or any other company owned or controlled directly or indirectly by central government or by any state government or governments, or partly by central government and partly by one or more state governments, the CAG of India in respect of a financial year appoint an auditor duly qualified to be appointed as an auditor of companies under this act within a period of 180 days from the commencement of financial year, who shall hold office till the conclusion of AGM. So in short, as per subsection 5, in case of government companies, CAG will appoint auditor within a period of 180 days from the commencement of financial year, and who shall hold office till the conclusion of annual general meeting. Subsection 6. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1, first auditor of a company other than government company shall be appointed by board of directors within 30 days from the date of registration of the company, and in case of failure of the board to appoint such auditor, it shall inform the members of the company, who shall within 90 days at an extraordinary general meeting appoint such auditor, and the auditor shall hold office till the conclusion of first annual general meeting. So as per subsection 6 of section 139, first auditor of a company other than government company shall be appointed by board of directors within 30 days from date of registration of company. In case board of directors fail to appoint the auditor, then they will inform to members, and members will appoint auditors within 90 days, and for that they need to hold extraordinary general meeting, and the auditor will hold office till the conclusion of first annual general meeting. Now we'll see subsection 7 of section 139. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1, or subsection 5 in case of government company or any other company owned or controlled directly or indirectly by central government or by any state government or governments or partly by central government and partly by one or more state governments, the first auditor shall be appointed by CAG within 60 days from the date of registration of companies. If the CAG does not appoint such auditor within the said period, then Board of Directors of companies shall appoint such auditor within the next 30 days. And in case of failure of board, then board will inform members of the company who shall appoint the auditor within next 60 days at an extraordinary general meeting who shall hold the office till the conclusion of first annual general meeting. So as per subsection 7 of section 139, this is applicable to government companies. In case of government companies, first auditor will be appointed by CAG within 60 days from the date of registration of company. If CAG fails to appoint within 60 days, then Board of Directors will appoint him within next 30 days. If Board of Directors also fail to appoint, then they will inform to members and members will appoint within next 60 days. And for that, they need to hold extraordinary general meeting and auditor will hold the office till the conclusion of first AGM. Subsection 8 of section 139, any casual vacancy in the office of auditor shall, in case of company other than company whose accounts are subject to audit by an auditor appointed by Controller and Auditor General of India, be filled by Board of Directors within 30 days. But if such casual vacancy is as a result of resignation of an auditor, such appointment shall also be approved by company at a general meeting convened within 3 months of recommendation of board, and he shall hold the office till the conclusion of next annual general meeting. So as per subsection 8, if there is casual vacancy in the office of auditor, it is to be filled by Board of Directors within 30 days in any company other than government company. And if the casual vacancy is because of resignation of auditor, then it is to be approved by company in general meeting. And in case of government companies, the the casual vacancy is to be filled by CAG within 30 days, and if CAG does not fill, if it fails to fill the casual vacancy, then Board of Directors shall fill the casual vacancy within next 30 days. Subsection 9 of section 139, subject to the provisions of subsection 1 and the rules made thereunder, retiring auditor may be reappointed at an annual general meeting if he is not disqualified for reappointment, he has not given the company a notice in writing of his unwillingness to be reappointed, and a special resolution has not been passed at that meeting appointing some other auditor or providing expressly that he shall not be reappointed. As per subsection 9 of section 139, retiring auditor may be reappointed if he is not disqualified for reappointment, he has not given a notice to the company in writing about his unwillingness to be reappointed, and company has not passed a special resolution appointing someone else or expressly providing that he shall not be reappointed. Then in that case he can be reappointed. Subsection 10, where at any annual general meeting no auditor is appointed or reappointed, the existing auditor shall continue to be auditor of the company. Subsection 11, where a company is required to constitute an audit committee under section 177, all appointments including filling of casual vacancy of auditor under this section shall be made after taking into account the recommendation of audit committee. So in all there are 11 subsections of section 139, appointment of auditor. If you get question appointment of auditor, and if you are writing section 139, if you know these 1 to 11 numbers by heart, then only write these subsections, that is these numbers, otherwise just put a star or bullet, because if you miss the order then you will lose marks. In this particular video we have seen Audit Committee under Section 177, its applicability, functions and powers, as well as provisions of Section 139 of Companies Act 2013, which is about appointment of auditors. Thank you.